Hey folks, Farm Tour Tuesday, February 28th, 2023. So, we're out here with the breeders. We've got them moved around. We did that Thursday. So Thursday we took Toast into the processor early in the morning. And then after that we came home and we shuffled everybody around, sorted off those 3 piglets that we needed, and really just got everybody moved. So we'll go ahead and spin you around. They're being jerks to Dose. But we'll go ahead and talk through some of the breeders here and a few more updates with that. Some thoughts I've got, like where I'm at on deciding who's gonna go and who's gonna stay. So, all right. So here this group is. Paydays and his ladies are over in these 2 connecting paddocks. They've got their hay bale, because they had run out of their hay bale here, which I tried pulling and spreading. And I got some off. I got the tall core piece, but I cannot get that mound. It is just eaten to solid pieces that's then worked into the mud on the backside, like on the inside. So I couldn't get that really spread. I'm hoping throughout the season it'll break down and I can pull it off and spread it. But so as far as concerning this group, I've made a few decisions. Those should just stay on the other side of the bale. There's feed on the other side of the bale, but all of them are just jostling for this strip that I tossed here before going in to put some on the other side of the bale. There's nothing more special about this feed than that feed, but either way. So out of this group, their earliest date is March 23rd. And I don't think, they definitely look like, we can kind of see the baby belly there on her. They definitely look like they're starting to get a little bit of a baby belly, but I don't think they're going to be early. So I think what I'll do, we get back from our trip the 20th. I think instead of moving them before my trip and making a real complicated large group of pigs, like 8 groups of pigs for the farm sitter who's going to be staying here to do that many chores for, he'll just have to do the 4 groups, because we'll just leave them together. I think I don't think they're going to go early. I think they're going to go a week or 2 late at the very latest, or at the very earliest. So not that worried. As far as deciding who's going to stay and who's going to go, I think we know Payday's going to go because we're keeping, and Red's going to go because we're keeping that little boar. But as far as sows, I've got it narrowed down to Oatmeal, Ginger, which we'll see here when we walk up there, and Donut. So that means Dottie's going to go, so she'll be available. And so Dose, I don't know, really. I don't know if Dose will be available or if I'll cull her, because she's got some things I like about her, but her underline is trash, like complete and utter trash. But her size is, she's smaller than everybody else in here. She is like 300 pounds. She is on dot for exactly what a mature female, 300 to 350 is supposed to be their range. So she's on dot there. Snout is not bad. The ears lop forwards, and I'm not as huge of a fan as the erect ears. And she has 2 well-connected wattles. So I'm not sure on her whether or not we'll cull or whether we'll sell. Go ahead and feel free to give me your thoughts in the comments on what you would do about her. She did have a litter of 11 her first go. She did not keep all 11. She lost all but 7, I think, 7 or 5 on her first go. She definitely has more of that lard build, but she leans it out and dumps it all to her babies. So that's a positive. I don't know. I'm just trying to like work through the pros and cons in my head. Yeah, not really sure whether or not pork or sell off to a baby mama. And now's not the time to puzzle that out. So you guys can, like I said, feel free to drop your thoughts in the comment. I'm not landed either way on this, so you ain't gonna hurt my feelings if you say, oh my gosh, definitely cull her. But that's kind of where we're at. Thinking Oatmeal, Ginger, and Dottie. And like I said, I only want 2, so I have to drop that even further. My wife loves Dottie. Let's go ahead and walk down towards Dottie. I'm gonna say goodbye to you guys. All right. What's up, Mr. Red? What's up, Mr. Red? Miss Biscuit. Miss Donut. And last but not least, hello, Miss Ginger. Hello, Miss Ginger. Yes. So, like I said, we are thinking of keeping Donut here and Ginger. So as much as I love oatmeal, I think we'll pass that love on and let some other folks enjoy her as much as I do. She's just getting a little bit bigger and older, so I know that as big as she is, I really worry about that little guy managing to get the job done for a season or so. So I think we would, if we kept her, we would miss out on at least one season of piglets, which not that big of a deal, but she is, like I said, she's also getting older. I'll drop her age in the thing because I'll have to look back at her papers, but I think it's about 5-ish. So she's getting old up there, not far off from retiring, 2-3 years. So really, my biggest thought would be to get her to somebody else that can have a different line of boar, and continue to spread some of her really nice genetics once or twice more. And well, honestly, that'd be, if she has another 3 years, you're looking at several more litters. That'd be 4 to 6 more litters. So she could still, she'd definitely pay for herself, that's for sure. Isn't that big gal? Anywho, so our only conundrum is I'm keeping her son, Donut's son, as my boar. So if I keep Donut, Donut is Claire's favorite pig. She's like, you have to keep Donut. Like, that is, she says that is non-negotiable. Donut has to stay, and I have to base all the rest of my decisions around that. And that's pretty fair. I do love Donut. She's one of my favorites out here too. So I do appreciate Ginger's build a bit more. As far as, and I still, like I said, I still need to make a video on this. But I'm really appreciating that build right there a lot more for what I'm looking for in my own personal herd. So I don't know, like I said, I will sit down and make a video on that. Maybe I'll do that one when I'll crank out a couple of talking head videos the week that I'm gone, because we won't be able to get you a Farm Tour Tuesday because I won't be here, and I'm not gonna make Cade run around and film that while I'm gone. So yeah, that's where we're at decisions wise. So payday, or oh my gosh, I need to go in and have a cup of coffee. I have not had coffee yet this morning, and I've already been going for a few hours. So Red here will be available as long as he got the job done, which looking at Donut, I'm not seeing anything that makes me think he did. With these two gals, they're a bit chunkier, so it's a little harder to tell, her and Oatmeal. But looking at Donut, I'm not seeing anything that really makes me think, I mean, maybe she's just really behind, but I'm not real confident that he got her. So that is gonna be a real bummer if I can't do breeding pairs again this spring. Like I said in the previous Farm Tour Tuesdays, that was always a potential. Like, it was, and some angles she hits, I'm like, well, maybe you're starting to, I don't know, folks. We'll see. They're definitely not happening March 23rd. If they are, that's for sure. So if he didn't do his job, then we'll cull him like we did Toast, which we have gotten Toast. So we'd picked him up Friday, and Toast is fully down now into all of the, we've got all of his dry cure stuff done, and well, all the curing done. There was about 100 pounds of cure between Bacons and Lonzas and Culatellos, Fiocos, Copas, Canadian bacon. Gosh, we made so much stuff that was cure, and then all the rest of grounds and soup bones. So I've got a lot of fun stuff I'm making with those too, and I'll keep dropping shorts on those. But all right, let's keep rolling, and let's move over to the feeder piglets. So quick stop while I'm filling up the feed buckets for the feeder pigs for the next day. There. That is Griffin's favorite spot. No matter which paddock he's got, if there's one of those hoop houses, which there's only one that doesn't have it, sleeping on top is his favorite spot. Everybody else is more than happy to lounge around in the hay and everything, but he's like, no, I have to sit up here so I can keep an eye on everything. I actually decided to hop over here and we'll do them first before the feeders. They I don't know what, like they have yet to figure out. I've been feeding them here. We pulled down that barn and I've got to make a scrap run. That storm the other day blew everything all around. But I'm pulling some plumbing in the kitchen that I want to take in too. It's old galvanized and cast iron, so I want to take it in. These guys been here since Thursday and they're just now starting to figure out that like you gotta come all the way down here. Come on guys, come on piglets. That area is just the least muddy because it's had that shelter for so long, years in fact. Come on, no, come down here. Now that these two have figured it out, that one will be trapped down there because he'll see them down there eating. They know it. They're running. Come on, Piglet. Oh, maybe he's got it. Come on, Piglet. Or he does not. Yep, they can't all be geniuses. We've got, if you see the shepherds down there, we've got our friend Chelsea's shepherds with us for the week. Luke and Maverick. Come on, little boyo. You gotta go down that way. Come on. Come on. Almost. We may have to work him. They're not that skittish of me that they'll run fully away. So this may not do it really much good. That fence is hot though, so he's gonna, yep, keeps tapping that. It's not as hot as it was the other day. Go on, boy. Go on. Go on. All right. Really? It's a little harder without two people. Okay. I'm just gonna stand in the sucking mud by the water. Come on. Come on. Oh. Maybe we got it. Oh. There we go. All right. Run, little piglet. Okay. Now we're just gonna walk down there a second. I've been getting out over that cattle or hog panel. Make my life a little easier. So I wasn't sure if I had clarified yet or not. So we know that the ginger one is our breeder boar. The chunky one is our barrow friend who gets to stay with him. And there's Pen. Hello, Pen. And then this guy that we just had some trouble running around, that is our Easter pig. That'll be our Easter roaster. He's the Crypt Orchid. So he's out of Uno, who is already processed. She's one of the halves that's in our freezer. Holes? Don't remember. But either way, so that's these guys. They have this yard, and like I said, so soon, April-ish, that one will drop. So then there won't be 3 of them in here. That'll just be the 2. And you could see as we were walking, that perennial ryegrass comes up and kind of makes a nice little haze of green. They're out of their round bale from where Toasted rolled it around. So I will need to get them more hay before I go, probably, to try to last them through until when I get back. But by the time I get back, that'll be end of March and grass will be growing again. Not, crazy fast or anything, but it'll start up. I need to get some grass seed into this yard and go ahead and just spread it. So hopefully the chestnut trees come back this year. I noticed a lot of them really struggled with that drought. Well, with the rain and then the drought. So we did lose quite a few. That's all these tree cages that are in this one. So there are a lot between these two. They're all chestnuts, and like the tops on most of them are dead. So this one looks good. No, that's dead. Yeah, it's dead, at least down to there. So hopefully the bottoms survived, because that's what I'm seeing on a lot of these. And they had a pretty Oh, actually, I don't want to snap that one because that one's kind of bending. And I don't have long enough fingernails to scrape that off. Doesn't look good down here though. That looks dead. Sorry, you can't really see. So yeah, I'm not sure how many of these are gonna make it. If we're lucky, I mean, they held leaves most of the year. So if we're lucky, they'll come back from the roots and send up new ones. These are all just seedlings. So no massive loss, but I really wanted chestnuts over here. We were set to have an entire chestnut orchard over here. I think there were a lot. There's 5 in each of those rows, 10 plus 13, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 chestnuts in this half-acre lot, quarter-acre lot, something like that. It's probably 1/4 of an acre between the two. They do have their mulberry trees though, so those will fruit and they'll get those. I need to trim some lower branches, but yeah, so they'll have plenty of shade at least. All right, guys, I'm gonna head up. We'll move over to the rest of you guys' friends. Okay, out with the feeders. I need to pull a bunch of this hay and spread it around the gate. I have not done that since they came in here yet, so that absolutely needs done. Out here, we're down to the 5 bigger ones and then the 6 smaller ones, with those 3 being over in the little yard. So they have their nice fluffed up shelter. And I thought, you guys see them every week, right? There's no change in them. That little gal's limp never came back. Everything's pretty as is. They're doing the wonderful snuffling breathing that they always do when they're attempting to wolf down liquid feed faster than they should. This mulberry tree, I guess that'd be a good thing to point out for those of you that are starting to put in cages for the spring. Don't build bigger tree cages than you think. So I put this cage on, I don't know if you can see it, it is tight to the bark. I put that on when this tree was fairly little, like it had 2-3 inches of space, 3 inches of space on each side. But these mulberries just grow way faster than you think. We put it on there to protect it from the goats, and now I've got to cut that off there because it's going to really start to, this year or the next, the tree will have grown fully into it, not just to it. And that one, this trunk, part of it died. And when it snapped, that tree cage I think is half of what's holding this tree up, but I still need to cut it out and then prune up most of our dead branches just so that we can see what's still alive in there. That's goats. The joys of goats eating off the bark of my trees. The pigs only do that once in a blue moon, and it's not with, I've yet to see them do it with these, so I'm not that worried. They will rub on them, but I've only ever seen one of my pigs chew the bark off of one of my bigger established trees, and that was a willow. The big willow, that's the polarded one with the 2 trunks. At the bottom, there's a torn off spot from Penny. Penny did that. But here's the pasture out here. So you see their hooves are definitely doing some damage. There's a spot right there. It looks like they kind of tore up a little. One little spot right there. I'm going to zoom way in because it's about the size of my shoe. Another one right here. But beyond that, there's actually like green grass starting to grow back in. There's our haze of green starting in, guys. So this is why I think spring has finally started to settle in. So lots of hoof print damage. This is just super muddy. But this area always is. Like I said, you can see where that runs through. And the killdeer have finally come back for the year and settled in. So they are being obnoxious. So hopefully these guys don't do too much damage until, and I may move them before, well, no, I can't, because then they'd be fence to fence with those guys. I was gonna say I might move them before I leave, but I think we're gonna be trapped leaving them in here until I get back to move all the sows around too. So that would be Oh, this time of year, way longer than I want to leave them in this paddock. Thankfully, that's a few less than there were. That's 3 less of them moving around, tromping around. And they do have that bale to try to work their way through up there. But yeah, okay, so here's the same spot. We looked at this in that video where I said I left them in here for 21 days, which was way too long in the summer. Or fall during that drought. Now we've had to surpass that multiple times in the winter. So that's kind of makes that crazy. Although, even before that, you can still see where the dogs are. It's not totally destroyed. It's cropped real close, and along the fence lines where they pace is messed up. But I'm still amazed. As crummy as I feel like it looks a lot of the time from all the mud, I am still amazed. Because like the mud that's up there around the gates, I don't even think about that anymore. Like that is, it bothers me, and I do want to cover it, right? That is still a problem. But when we had sheep, we had that same issue. It was always mucky and muddy around the gates. I've yet to figure out a solution for right around gates beyond just continuing to put organic material down. That does not make me happy. But that is apparently a perennial problem. Because they did that last time they were in here too, in this exact spot. Like to the exact same boundary lines too. So I don't know if that tree is just throwing roots this way they like, or it has anything to do with that. I don't know. I've never noticed anything growing up there that's weird. There used to be a blackberry bramble when we first bought the farm, right about here. But our regular pigs, our Duroc Berkshire crosses, they destroyed that like day one. This was just a massive crater. So that has never come back since they did that. They ate all the roots. But yeah, I don't know. I am still like fairly pleased with the fact that they've been in here since Thursday too. And there is a lot less damage than I feel like there should be for 9 pigs. No, 11 pigs. 6 plus 5 is 11. So, not great. I would like things to be nicer, but I'm gonna continue to be happy about that. That's what's gonna carry me through the next couple weeks till it takes over and fills everything and there's nice tall grass everywhere. But like I said, these guys will stay. Go back up here too the rest of the way. They've blown out this back corner of the shelter. These guys will stay here, looks like, until I bring back the other, till I come back and move the sows around to the sow yards. Because then, once I do that, then they're gonna move to there, where Red and his ladies had just moved out of. So then that will have had almost a month of rest on that one, which it's kind of getting a haze of green already too. It's 45 today, like this morning, but then, or well, it was when I got up at like 6. But it's supposed to be up to 72 today. And this whole week, we're gonna dip down to like the 30s, but we're gonna be up in the 60s pretty well every day this week, with a day or two here in the 70s. So yeah, like it definitely feels like spring. We have several days of rain this week, so that'll probably change how a lot of this looks. But yeah, like it is what it is. We're getting there. I need to, like I said, I'll cast out some seed. So they'll start moving through as soon as those sows pull up, and they'll, honestly, these paddocks back here that have been real touched by the feeders just won't get touched at all for a while. They'll have a massive amount of rest. So, well, I am exhausted. So I know I have drugged this out. I tend to ramble a bit more when I'm tired. And to try to get toast going and still keep a little bit on the kitchen and try to get this job that I'm doing and spend some time cutting down willows and stuff where need be. I have been running from like 6 to midnight every day for the last like week and a half maybe. And so I am just getting super exhausted. Having the deadline of leaving for our trip next week is and there's all the, thankfully the other folks on the board are doing a fantastic job of keeping things moving while I'm horribly distracted. But I need to hop on this week, tomorrow, because voting starts the 2nd. I need to hop on tomorrow and update the website in order to make it so folks can actually vote. So if you're in the association, keep an eye out for that. That will happen. And I'm getting some love right now. Yes. Yeah, little lady. Oh my gosh. So that'll happen very soon. But so there's just all these things I'm trying to square away, and it's made me very tired. So I apologize for my long rambling. I apologize that this video is probably going to be close to 30 minutes. I'm just imagining it. Maybe I'll edit some of it out, but it's really hard for me to then edit stuff and trim around, and then you guys get gaps in conversation. So yeah, I try not to do that too much. I know that leaves some slightly longer videos, but one day I will get much better at this, right? Just stick in there with me as I figure this stuff out and get it working. So, all right, that's where I'm at, and that is kind of all the things I got going on right now. If you want particular updates on anything, right? Like, we've had a pretty consistent, like some weeks Furniture Tuesdays will flare up to well over 100 viewers, but we have a pretty consistent, like at least 50 to 60 that it seems like every week I minimum get that. That seems like it's roughly the same-ish people. So those of you that are watching this every week and making it pretty well to the end, or at least to this part, if there is something with the Farm Tour Tuesdays that you guys are wanting to see, right? Because like I feel like I'm kind of rolling into this like pretty consistently. We're just like checking on the pigs, just like one at a time hitting the pigs. And if that's what you guys like, fantastic, let me know, and that's what I'll keep doing. But if there is something else that you want to see, other topics about the farm and about the seasons of what we're doing that I'm missing, that I'm not really hitting, then let me know. If there are things about it that you're like, yeah, you talked about this that week and I really liked and you hit on that, like whatever, let me know in the comments so that I can keep kind of focusing on those topics. I just want to make sure that you guys are getting value out of this, because like I've said in several of our other videos, like I'm doing this YouTube channel because I want to provide value for what our small farm goes throughout the seasons, right? And anything that I can help other farmers, get through this hump of being a small farm, to where you're so small that the costs are a bit rougher, right? Like we're buying everything at roughly retail. Our feed is at bulk, and that's, although you get much bigger discounts buying more than only 2 tons. So, but right, that's the point that we're at, while still competing with all these other people that are just doing it as a hobby. So like, which is kind of where, like I said, we're shifting to a homestead. So we're kind of going back to that, but I'm not doing that with what we sell. So that will probably be in the talk about the body shape, or just a talk on, I know I'm going to do a talk on the finances of pigs, at least with all our stuff. So you can get an idea of like what our costs are, and things like that. And so what we know we have to charge and things like that. So when that comes out, hopefully that'll address some questions. But back to the Farm Tour Tuesday. Sorry, got derailed again. Tired, that just happens. Yeah, if you guys have questions about things or comments on the Farm Tour Tuesdays that could improve them going forwards, please let me know. Drop them in the comments. You're always welcome to shoot me messages. For those of you that have my contact info, which you can always just find me on Facebook or go to our farm on Facebook or Instagram. But comments are great because 1, it helps our channel, and 2, if somebody else has that same question, I don't get 10 messages with the same question. Someone can see that it was answered in the comments, so that is helpful. So, all right, I'm going to roll it out and go get some coffee, and then hop onto my job. So, like I said, I've spent way more time this morning than I needed to on this because I'm tired. So, thank you to our Patreon supporters, Raymond and Ashley Hunter. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. If you guys want to join the Patreon, I would love to start having more people join Raymond and I's conversations. And Ashley, of course, you're always welcome to join the conversations too. It just seems like it's Raymond and I that chat. So, although you do contribute to the Patreon stuff, suggesting video topics, which I will get to those topics soon, I promise. Once things slow down just a smidgen more, which I know it sounds like they won't with farrowing happening right when I get back, but for me, that's going to be slower because I won't be trying to, I'll finish this job and I'm not starting the next one for another week or 2. So I'll probably either knock out some of your video topics while I'm on this trip, just as some talking head videos for a lot of those it looked like I could do. And I'll then do some as soon as I get back for the other ones. So, all right. thank you to the rest of you that make it to the end of these videos. Like I said, I hope you guys get some worthwhile content out of this. I hope it is helpful. You guys have a great week, and if you're in southern Missouri, I hope you really enjoy these nice warm temps that we're getting, and get out today. I know this will come out after today, but I hope that you enjoyed the 72 degrees today. Get out and enjoy that sunshine.